CJ Marks here. Welcome to the Confidence series. We have the Juno nominated, welcomed across the world in different ciphers and on any stage, any studio. Your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, Ghettosocks. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
No
CJ.
problem, man. No problem at all, man. Let's just jump right into the first question. What is confidence?
Well, that's a good question. I think it depends on the context, really. I think we're kind of, at least my generation, don't want to necessarily speak on everybody, but like we're raised to think of confidence being sort of this two-dimensional thing, where it's like hold your chin up, your posture and that sort of thing. That's what confidence is, and I think it's really more complex than that. If I was to have confidence in someone, that's not necessarily the way that, I don't know, the language works for yourself in terms of that, like imposing that ideology. So I think confidence is about, trust, and it's about, I guess, like having a certain level of expectation in someone or yourself. If I said, yeah, I'm confident that I could accomplish something that was asked of me, then that means that I have a certain level of expectation within myself that I could accomplish that. And then, yeah, within other people, confidence in other people is like, where do my expectations lie? And to have confidence is to have a certain degree of certainty in terms of those expectations. So yeah, that's kind of the way I looked at it when you asked me the question. Yeah.
Okay, solid. Well, you're in a profession, Socks, where you have to be confident, man. I mean, as a musician, especially as a rapper, you have to be confident. So my next question is, well, to lead up to it, a lot of folks are into music. A lot of folks are into rap. I know so many folks who've messed around at being a rapper. You do it for real. You're a professional. When and how did you realize, hey, I can actually make a living emceeing? When did you realize you could be a rapper professionally?
Well, I mean, it was just something, again, like on that note of confidence. At some point, it was something that I was just into, growing up, through my teenage years and whatnot. Something that I was into, hip hop as a whole. And at a certain point, I just, was so committed to it that I became confident enough to, I don't know, sort of like develop skills and focus in order to make it like a feasible thing. And I went to the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design for school. And during my time there, I sort of like was able to, craft and polish the notion of like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Like, I want to focus. How do I make it happen? And like implement some of these strategies. So yeah, it was just like a slow burn, slow development. And then at a certain point, I because others had confidence in me, and I got support from different people, and what my efforts were resonating with people, then it was actually something that became like a feasible reality to do it. So that being said, like I'm an artist. I'm like an interdisciplinary artist. So I do visual art as well as music, graphic design, painting and stuff like that. So like to say I'm 100% like relying on rap as my main source of support. I wouldn't say that's 100% accurate, but I think because of the fact that I'm versatile and able to do a bunch of different things, it allows me to do what I want musically, and in terms of a rapper. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's real cool. And you've been at it artistically for quite some time, and I actually have a bit of a backstory leading up to the next question. I remember the most recent time I actually saw you in person was about 2 years ago. You and Jeff Specs out here in Osaka. Peace to Jeff Specs, by the way. I hope he's well. Yeah, and you were doing a show out here, and actually on the same bill was Will Deluxe. Peace to Will Deluxe, by the way.
Yeah.
And I recall after his set, you said to him, "You still got it," because it'd been a while since y'all seen each other. And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, of course he still has it, and
Yeah.
you still got it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you know you still got it?
Well, you know, when I said that to Will, peace to Will, and obviously peace to Jeff Speck. Those are the homies there.
Yeah.
But when I said that to Will, it was, you know, I was just being a little silly. You know,
of course.
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing is like, you know, if I think you still got it is when you can come back to 5 years, 10 years and reconnect with people that you don't necessarily see all the time, and they're still, doing what they did before, in like there's a new incarnation of the work that they're doing, or like in terms of their endeavors or activities. If people are still active, it's like then you still got it, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't know, there's that notion, it's like, you know do you still got it, or have you lost it? You know what I mean? I think that that's kind of like pertains to it's like a perspective things, like people's perception, you know like how artists a lot of the time, they'll put out their first album, for example, and it'll be super hot, and then the next album will come out and be like, oh, they fell off, or it's not the same as the first. But that's not necessarily true, you know what I mean? Like to a casual audience member, they may not, vibe so much with like the later material or whatever. But in terms of that individual artist, maybe that's where they want to go. Maybe they want to depart and they want to change things up. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think the key to still got it is, are you still committed? Are you still passionate about whatever you're doing? You know what I mean? I think that's crucial.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And so it was good to see Will out there, and and he was just, he's just a beast. What he does, and at the same time, just like crazy humble and approachable, and a funny guy. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what resonates with me. Like, people that have skill and do their thing, and yet are approachable and have humility and a great sense of humor. Those are some key attributes that I look for, and or that I resonate with, I guess. Really.
Well, that's a great segue to my next question, because I think you spoke of things that you yourself have. So considering all that you've accomplished professionally, personally, how are you still able to have the level of confidence you have, but not allow it to become hubris, to not become arrogant? What keeps you humble and grounded given all you've achieved?
I mean, you that's a nice thing for you to say there, that all that I've achieved. I guess the thing is, as I don't really like see everything that I've done as, an excuse to feel entitled for anything. Like I still feel grateful that I'm able to do what I can do, and that people vibe with it, and I'm still able to meet new people, and uh, I'm able to entertain people and connect with people on various levels. So that being said, it's like I don't really, I'm not trying to like rest on my laurels, so to speak. So I feel like artistically, creatively, there's more that I want to do. I have more to offer, and there's like more stuff down the road and in the future. So that's kind of where I'm keep looking that way. And there's plenty of people that have accomplished way more outstanding and amazing things than I can claim. So I've, in terms of um, relativity, you know, who's to get all excited, or feel arrogant. What's the sense of feeling arrogant or something? So there's always a bigger fish, you know what I mean? Or there's always a different pond, so to speak. And yeah, that's just basically that. Like, I don't know, just not being satisfied, I guess, with where I'm at, always wanting to do more. That's how I'm able to just keep it moving, really.
Okay, well said.
Yeah.
My last question before we get to this or that. as you know, Socks, I actually do a little bit of public speaking. I train people and stuff. And one of the things I always tell them is, look, because people get nervous that the audience is going to make fun of them or boo them. Like, look, listen, at a TED Talk, at a Toastmaster speech contest, no one's going to boo you. Like, you just don't get booed.
Yeah.
However, there are certain times when if you take the stage, you can very well get booed. If you're a politician, if you're a stand-up comedian, and if you're an MC. We know that sometimes in rap situations, the audience will boo you. Nobody likes that. So my last question, man, is how do you get yourself ready and focused to take the stage into a show on nights or days when you're just not really feeling it? How do you get yourself ready?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a complicated idea, really. And I know, I obviously know what you've been up to, and how we met was through, you set up that that conference, that music conference.
Right.
That was my introduction to Japan. So again, shout outs to you for helping
and shout outs to
that.
And Dwayne Levy, Kansai Music Conference, and then the big homie Daniel Brooks. Yeah.
You're part of that whole team, but yeah, and shout outs to my boy Evil, who came with me that first time, my manager. So, but like I think that in order to feel confident getting in front of a crowd and being able to read the crowd is something that's very important, right? You're talking about you don't want to get booed. Yes, no one wants to get booed. And I think that everybody has their own kind of way of arriving at a place to be confident on stage. Like we were talking about earlier, I felt fortunate in getting to meet a whole, array of different people like yourself, like Will Deluxe, like Jeff Speck, all these people in my realm that I know. I learned something from everyone, my interactions with people, and I see how different people carry themselves in social situations and that sort of thing. As a kid, I was a very shy child, you know what I mean? And I had to develop some skills, like I had to come out of my shell, so to speak. And I think how I accomplished that was by making friends and learning, how is it that other people behave? Where are people who don't do that? Where are people making faux pas, so to speak, and sort of learning to navigate social situations. And so that's sort of the impetus for, fast forward to you're about to go on stage. And when you asked me that question, I thought instantly of this one time, because you're like, oh, when you're not really feeling it or whatever, there's some adversity. I thought of one time where I was on tour and I got really sick on tour. Like I had a throat infection, like strep throat or something. I was, we were out, and it was, I don't know, somewhere, got out of the van, and it was raining, and I felt feverish, and I was about to do the show, and my dude Rel, shout outs to Rel McCoy also, he was like, are you good? Like, are you going to be able to do this tonight? And I'm like, yeah, like I gotta, we're here, I can't be here and not perform. So
pretty much
I just remember like getting on there and just keeping my jacket on, and I was just sweating. But then as soon as sort of the show began, I just snapped into mode, you know what I mean? Like the mental and muscle memory just kicked in, and it was just, business as usual. Had to just go into sort of that muscle memory, and really a thing that I've learned is, not to, there's things that you may want to share with an audience upon introduction, like but you have to think about the audience's perspective. Like if you're going to a show to watch somebody perform, or somebody to speak publicly, like a talk or whatever, do you, like if they come and say, yeah, I just had a really hard day, like, is that necessarily, gonna help their experience? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I know a lot of comedians like to do this. It's a way of bringing people into your world, so to speak. But I feel in terms of what I'm doing is like, if you're having a hard day, or you have to just keep real close tabs on what you want to share with your audience off the bat, because there's such thing as oversharing, I think. And you don't want to kill the mood, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially if it's like, you know, boom, about to do this show. Will Deluxe just came through and he just rocked a set and he crushed it and everybody's smiling and, you know, everybody's wilding out, having a good time at a party. And then you come on and, you know, you drop some serious, you know, my dog just died. You know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
know, nobody wants that
You
kind
don't want
of
to do that. Like, it
Debbie
might be fun.
Downer. Yeah, nobody wants
Debbie
that.
Downer, exactly. Reading the crowd, right? You know what I mean? So, and by the same token, you know, if say there's another situation where like an opening act was real dark, it was real down, and then maybe you can share something dark or something that's on your mind, or, you know, as a way of sort of like transitioning up, you know, making light of something that, you know, everybody, you're empathizing with your audience, right?
Mhm.
Empathize with the audience and say, yeah, I feel what you're feeling now. It's reminding me of what, you know, what I'm dealing with right now, but I
Mhm.
don't have time for that. Like, let's, you know, let's change the subject now, you know, and
Yes, yes.
you can disarm the audience with humor, I think. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's like, reading the crowd is crucial. Knowing knowing the audience, or at least feeling the vibe of the audience, you know, getting a sense of the room. Where should I take this? What do they need? And
Mhm.
just keeping tabs on what, you know, having a bit of a screening process in your mind of, okay, if I was to say that right now, how would that go over? Run the numbers, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then if it's risky, then, you know, go another route. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And this all comes with experience, I find. You know, like, if I yeah, that's why I was saying initially when you asked this question, it's a, you know, it seems it's a complex question to ask, uh,
Yes.
because of, you know, I started talking about when I was a kid and like how I learned how to read people, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a complex idea, but yeah, over time, that's where you get to. It sounds complicated to somebody who maybe like, you know, somebody who you're speaking to at one of your talks about, you know, trying to develop their public speaking skills, or like, you know, their how to deliver uh, in public to crowds. It might sound crazy. Like, what do you mean load up ideas of a feel the crowd? It seems abstract, but the more that you do it, the more you start to that experience, each experience affects you in a way, and you learn. And even just going and watching other people publicly, like performing, speaking, what have you, that all you can watch somebody else, like watching somebody kill it is fantastic, but it's just as valuable as watching somebody crash and burn. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You learn, don't
There,
do that. You
that's
know?
what not to do. Okay, don't
Yeah,
do that.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is no substitute for experience. Bottom line, no
Yeah.
substitute for experience.
Yeah. Facts.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very enlightening, Ghettosocks. I knew it would be this or that. This or that. It's pretty simple, my man. Just
All right.
five, not even really questions, five things. This
Okay.
is that. I know what I
Okay.
have with explanation, just A or B, this or that.
Okay. Let's go.
First one, Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Was not expecting that.
That's rough.
That's that's tough.
It
Um,
is.
yeah. Man, I'm gonna have to say Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. Mortal Kombat. All right,
Yeah.
all right, all right. Next
Yeah.
one, next one, next one.
Okay.
From MC perspective.
Yeah.
Freestyles or written rhymes?
Damn you. uh, See, the thing about this thing that you're doing right now is I can't stand polarizing questions like this, or lists, or yeah, I hate
you know,
quantifying. You know what I mean?
me too. Me too. Yeah, that's why I put this in there for this confidence as an interesting
Yeah.
twist, because I am not a this or
Yeah.
that kind of guy either.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. I mean,
irony.
everything has, you know, I love this, but I love that. You know what I mean? Like,
That's what makes it so complicated, right? This or that.
at the
Yeah.
yeah, at the end, I'd have to say writtens. I have to say
Fair enough.
writtens.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, the third one, you have a lot of range. I mean, you could just hang out in the hood, and you've been in some of the finest restaurants and spots in the world. So the next this or that, chicken and beer or fish and wine?
See, chicken and wine.
Okay.
See, this whole section's a problem, man. I'm telling you, this is a problem.
Okay.
Chicken and wine.
Okay.
That's how confident I am. Is I will create
chicken and wine. No problem. You can do that.
You can call this one. You can call it this, that, or the third. You know what I mean? I'll take the third. Yeah.
I like that, chicken and wine.
Chicken and wine.
Try it tonight.
I'm not a big beer guy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, chicken and wine works.
Yeah.
Well, that is chicken and red wine, chicken and white wine. What would that be? Chicken.
Yeah, chicken and white wine. But I also like fish. So I'll take everything, but just leave the beer.
Just leave the beer. All right.
Leave the beer.
All right. Fourth one. This is a movie guide for those who don't know about Ghettosocks, and this is I don't know if it's easy or difficult. I'm sure you've had this one before. Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
I gotta say Robert De Niro.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just more of a fan of De Niro's style acting.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
There's no wrong answer with that one.
It's a good. I feel like this whole thing is like you're developing a psychological analysis. Like,
nah, man, this is what am I going to do? Nah, I'm not doing that, man. Last one. This is actually a bit challenging.
Okay.
For lack of a better term, I'm gonna say album because digital age, whatever. But anyway, your first album or your latest album?
Oh, in terms of like what I've made?
Just however you interpret that. Just Ghettosocks. You. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Ghettosocks. Your first album or your latest album?
I mean, I'm gonna say latest.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
That's what
This or that.
Yeah.
Socks, it's been a pleasure, man. And speaking of your latest album and just anything you wanna plug in terms of for the late bloomers or those who are not in the know, where can we find you? Where can we hit you up, man? What's the promo like?
Well, I got a new record coming out with my boy DK.
Okay.
He's a producer out in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, which is basically Halifax as well. And we got a cool record. It's called Listen to the Masters.
Okay.
And we got OC from DITC on there.
Okay.
We got CL Smooth on there. We got Elda Sensei. We got a whole bunch of crazy features. And you're going to be able to get that through Black Buffalo Records. Hopefully by the end of the year. I think Jet Set actually in Japan is we're going to do an exclusive release with them.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll send you all the info after.
Yeah, and I'll definitely put it. I'll definitely put it in the link and on this video itself.
Yeah. It might have to be supplementary, so we'll see when it comes. But yeah, man, just lots on the go. Too much to talk about here, but I'll supply you with some links to treats after.
Okay, excellent. Appreciate that. So for those listening, man, is there a website or a way to hit you up on Instagram, Twitter?
Just at Ghettosocks, GHETTOSOCKS on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever. And that's probably the best way to get at me and check shit out. Yeah. There we go.
Socks, appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much.
Our pleasure hanging out. No, looking forward to linking up again in the physical, man.
Long overdue.
It is. Hey, well, it's crazy times these days, man. But we make it happen.
Absolutely. All right,
man,
good looking out.
Appreciate it. Take care. Travel safely. Catch you next time.
All right. Peace.
You've drawn some really iconic characters, man. You really have. And I mean, for those who don't know, look into it. But I mean, this man's penned, I can't begin, but Wolverine, Batman, a lot of stuff. So the next question, Dave, is like, when you draw a well-known character, he or she has to look a certain way. Meaning, like Wolverine can't look like a werewolf, or Batman can't look like a vampire. It has to look a certain way. So how do you draw iconically well-known characters, but still put your own particular spin or touch on it to make it unique for you?
For me, it's you know, the hardest place to look is the mirror, right? You can't escape yourself, right? So things that are subconsciously